Well, it's been a year since this movie came out, and I still think about it to this day. Transformers 1. This is a movie that came under everyone's radar when it released last year in September, and I feel bad for the movie, because when I saw the movie opening day, I was not the same person walking into the movie, walking out of it. I honestly thought this movie was going to be a dumbed-down Transformers movie that was tailored more for young children. But after walking out of the movie, I was completely changed by it. And honestly, walking out of it, that was one of my favorite animated movies of the year, if not my favorite Transformers movie of all time. It had heart, it had great characters, it had a compelling story, and altogether, the movie ultimately still flopped. A lot of people ask to this day, why did this movie get this treatment? Why did it flop? And why will we most likely not see anything from these characters in this version of the Transformers ever again? And that's something I wanted to talk about in this video, because I haven't been able to get this movie off of my mind recently. But we'd have to go back to all the way to 2023. Transformers: The Rise of Beasts came out. While surprisingly a pretty good movie for the recent Transformers movies, it wasn't really anything substantial, and honestly, it really wasn't going anywhere with the Transformers franchise, in the grand scheme of things at least. Then we got news that an animated Transformers movie was going to be coming out, and this actually got people interested. An animated Transformers movie in theaters. This could be based off the Bayverse, or this could be something entirely new. Then we found out the film was called Transformers 1. It was going to be an origin story between Optimus Prime and Megatronn and how they went down their different paths. Now this again got people interested. This could be a leeway into a new franchise for the Transformers through animation, which they've almost never failed in when brought to the animation front. Then when people found out the movie was going to take entirely on Cybertron and with no humans, got people even more excited. This seemed like the perfect Transformers movie. In the original Bumblebee movie in 2018, most people say their favorite part of the movie was the intro that took place on Cybertron. It was so faithful to the original material, and honestly, it was just amazing to see them on Cybertron. So seeing it come from this movie only raised people's hype. And then we got the first trailer, and honestly, I can't even lie, I was a little disappointed by it, and other people were too. The first trailer did not do the movie justice at all. It really made the movie look like it was for very young children, had very small jokes that just really didn't work, and a lot of people were skeptical of Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime and all the other actors, Brian T. Henry as Megatron. There was all these things factoring into it, and it really wasn't helping the movie's case with the movie's little to zero marketing. The movie only hyped itself up with the first trailer, which didn't go well with people, and then as months went on, nothing really was uplifting the movie. Surprisingly, being from Paramount, Transformers, one of their biggest franchises ever, didn't want to market itself that well. It was coming out in September, which didn't really have that much competition. There was only one other animated movie coming out that month, being The Wild Robot. Amazing film, by the way. But when it came to this movie, it wasn't really looking that good, and even when I was walking into it, I was like, okay, this movie should just be okay. Then I walked in opening night. Unfortunately, did not see many people in my theater room, which was already worrying enough. I'm pretty sure there was like only 10 other people in a pretty big auditorium for a film. Opening night, that's still not good. But regarding that, watching the film itself, it was amazing. The movie started off pretty okay. Towards the middle, you were kind of getting a feel for what this movie might be, but then it took a complete 180. And honestly, I think this is one of my favorite performances from Brian T. Henry as Megatron. The movie took a 180, and I think that was when everyone was locked into this movie. The marketing did this movie so dirty. They don't even look like the same movie from the trailer to the movie. Chris Hemsworth does an amazing job as Optimus Prime. His voice slowly gets more into the original voice as the movie progresses, and a lot of the jokes really work. Actually, there are some jokes from the movie that I still sometimes think about, but I think that the fight scenes in the movie also go super hard as well. The soundtrack elevates it. There were so many things going for this movie that was so good that walking out of it, I wanted more. The movie ended on a note that could push the movie forward. It had a great post-credit scene leading into a future sequel, just Transformers 2, but that was not what we got. The movie did not have a great box office. It only came around, I'm pretty sure, around $120 million. Against his budget, was considered a flop. especially for the Transformers franchise, which was really, really sad to see. One person, I think most people, if they're in the Transformers 1 community, they know exactly who this person was. One person on Twitter tried to get the movie out to as many people as possible. He went all over. He was called the Transformers Hype Guy. I'm sure you probably know who this is. He posted everywhere about this movie, trying to get as many people to go see this movie as possible. And it worked. People were starting to see the movie. A lot of big YouTubers were also starting to talk about it. Finally, and still, against all efforts, the people that needed to see the movie obviously definitely changed their minds and knew the movie was really good, but it wasn't enough for the general audience to see. And as time went on, there were other movies that came out. More people showed up to Joker 2, which wasn't really a great movie. Most people said just go watch Transformers 1, but to the general audience, this movie was just not won over by them. It seems like Transformers fatigue has come so badly that seeing how this marketing was being treated towards this movie, it really wasn't working out in this favor. And for Paramount to see this is one of the most praised Transformers movies of all time, knowing that we're not getting anything from it anymore. Not a sequel, not a sequel series, absolutely nothing. And I'm kind of happy that the movie kind of ended on its note where this is their origin story. You can kind of follow in from this to know how they ended up rivals, but there could have been such more stories told from this. I wanted a trilogy. Most people probably did. But now we just have to sit with the fact that we're probably not getting a sequel to this film. Now we just have to look to the future of the Transformers, and it kinda looks bright. We now know that Transformers will be crossing over with G.I. Joe at some point, and we'll also be getting Michael Bay returning for a Transformer movie. It's not confirmed whether it's going to be any sequel to any of the Bayverse films, nor do we know if this is taking place in another universe or whatever it may be, but at least the franchise is continuing. But it's sad to see how this film was treated, and it'll just be a memory that most people will just talk about here and there, and how amazing it was. But what do you think? Do you think we'll get anything else from Transformers 1, or do you think this is the end? Personally, I'm holding out hope for at least something, but the likely chances of a sequel are very low. If only streaming went crazy with this movie, maybe we could have seen something. There have been movies that have definitely popped off streaming-wise, and studios realized, hey, there's potential here. But unfortunately, this movie just didn't get that treatment. Maybe if it released on Netflix at some point, because it's only on Paramount Plus, and who has Paramount Plus, I'm gonna be quite honest. But I'm holding out hope. But what do you think? Let me know down in the comments, and I will catch you guys in the next video. This is like an immaculate October. There's like so much coming out, so you bet I'll be on top of all of it.